You're a changed man.
It's been, I know, maybe the island life. I'm just on the island time, you know. You know what they say about island time. It's not necessarily true.
It's what?
Okay, I think we are live now.
Yeah, I just got a notification.
Can you see YouTube?
Yeah, it's live now.
Okay.
Okay, Thor, do you want to introduce us?
Yes. So first, thank you all for coming to this meeting. So first, I was just briefly explain what is going to happen throughout this meeting, and we'll have first a brief introduction, everyone, and we're gonna have some general questions. We're going to about actually getting here, possibly moving here, and of course the NFTs and token, and then we're gonna round up with some public MA, and yeah. So first of all, let's introduce ourselves. James, will you?
Okay. So hi, I'm James Law, and I'm the chief architect of Satoshi Island. My responsibility is the design of the physical island, the architecture on the island, the very modern high-tech Satoshi Island modules, which will form the kind of new smart city that we are planning to build for everyone. So it's very nice to meet everyone and look forward to chatting and answering any questions that you might have.
Okay, amazing. And you, Dennis?
How's it going, everybody? My name is Dennis Troyak, and I'm the operations and logistics manager for Satoshi Island. An umbrella picture of my duties is I'm tying everything together. But ultimately, I'm going to be responsible of being on the island and making sure that things happen as the community decides for it to happen. That includes, all the construction and infrastructure and things like that. And I have been living on the island for 3 months, not there currently. At the moment, I'm back at home in Sydney, but I've experienced it. I know what it's all about. And yeah, I can't wait to see this happen.
Amazing, amazing. And you, Dan?
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Dan. I'm the brand manager at Tenset. So I work a lot with the community and behind the scenes, bringing things together.
Perfect.
So then Thor as well.
And yes, me. So I'm the marketer of Tenset. So in short terms, I am helping a very variety of projects with getting the exposure. So yes, let's jump into the first general questions, and Dan, you can start.
Sure. So I guess when you guys want to intro how this all started, who came up with the original idea and how it all began?
The idea itself was very much a community sort of dream, if you like. Myself, I've been involved in crypto for quite a while now, and whenever I get myself involved in any business and any project, I tend to really dive in nice and deep and learn from the experts in the field, for example. And this is exactly what happened with me with crypto. I made sure that I surround myself with the OGs of the industries, those who have made it from very beginning, those who are in this space, not necessarily for just the money, but for understanding of the blockchain technology and the things that it can bring to the world and bring to the society and the communities. And so that's exactly how I put myself in the right place at the right time. A couple of individuals who are our private investors, they come out to me and said, look, we've got this idea, this dream, if you like, about creating our own place, creating our own space. Because at the time, you could go to a couple of conferences or events all over the world and experience that atmosphere of 100% crypto economy. But at the end of the day, you still had to go back to your own house, to your own home, and we are all, crypto space itself is it's a global industry, and we're spread all over the world. So there was never really one place where we can come and enjoy, whether it be a coffee or a beer together, and discuss everything that crypto is all about. And that's how this dream, this idea came about. And when we sort of started getting together, it was myself and Ben from the original group. We started putting all these points down and started brainstorming the idea and thinking about the way we can make it happen without it being a pipe dream, but actual reality. And this is the time where we reached out to James with our architectural idea, and also started looking at some different jurisdictions where something like this would be possible. Vanuatu just happened to tick the most amount of boxes as far as what we're looking for was concerned. And of course, one of the biggest was that we just were fortunate enough to find a private island of the perfect size, that was obviously accessible, and we managed to acquire it, and we're here now.
Awesome, yeah. And then I guess what was the general response from Vanuatu when you guys expressed the interest in starting this?
Look, in the beginning,
in
the beginning, of course, those points that I discussed just earlier about having a jurisdiction that ticked all the boxes, it was important to have some sort of friendly taxation jurisdiction. It was important that it had to be sort of accessible enough. The land itself, for example, without being too out of the way as far as logistics are concerned and bringing food and infrastructure is concerned. But also the government themselves had to be sort of open to the blockchain idea, not necessarily have all the legislations in place already, but have some sort of interest in our space. And this is what we found with Vanuatu government. They were actually, before we even got there, they actually were looking at this innovative technology that can put their own country, on the map. Because Vanuatu, it's somewhat independent nation. It doesn't really have any influence from any of the big Americas and the rest of the world. So they wanted to find ways where they can really put themselves ahead in the world as innovators of technology and friendly nation for future building of the way things were happening at the time. And I know that everyone knows now, but actually down the track, we managed to get an endorsement from the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance as well. So that was that just shows their interest in the technology. So they were very keen for many different reasons. Obviously, the reason that I just mentioned, but also the fact that Vanuatu as a country, their sort of main income comes from tourism. And that's how people sort of make their money. And obviously during those years as well, it was COVID, and the people were suffering. The country was closed. Obviously, everybody needed to be safe from this virus. So I think in a way they saw that this kind of project can bring a lot of interest to Vanuatu and really reboot their tourism economy, but also create that attraction of tech and innovation as well. So I think there was a lot of different elements that the government really liked having a project such as Satoshi Island.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, amazing. And also I have a question here, is because I spoke with you, Dennis, and I would like to, what are some of the reasons that, because you told me that some bigger, well-known traditional companies has shown their interest in your project. What has been the reasoning behind for their interest, just in general terms?
Yeah, look, I think it was exactly that. I think everyone understands that at the moment, we're an online industry. There is no physical space, physical place for us. A lot of this is happening now, because don't forget, guys, we've been working on this for over 4 years. So we didn't just come out with this bunch of ideas and said, hey, let's do this. And we actually made sure that we ticked our own boxes, that things are actually plausible and doable and actually achievable, right? And that's what we've noticed. We've noticed that, yes, there was other parties who were trying to create a space where we all come together and have a physical meeting. But apart from small clubhouses and things of that nature, there was nothing on a grander scheme. And Satoshi Island idea was to be almost like an umbrella for all of the projects in space, where they can use it as, it could be a permanent base, it could be a satellite office, it could be just a retreat, just a project retreat where they just come and and really absorb that that true crypto atmosphere, and understand where our blockchain technology is leading us to. And I think this is exactly why a lot of the projects showed a lot of interest, because, again, and I think it will be the same with you guys. If you look at your Tenset project, the community is spread all over the world. You might have your European communities, you might have your Asian communities, and everyone saw this. Oh, wow, how good would it be if we can grab some of our community members and every now and then take them into this beautiful atmosphere, this industry of ours that we're trying to build and create a future out of.
Exactly, it's just amazing to hear, really. And hold 2 seconds, Maya. So another question here, which is, why did you choose to partner up with us?
Well, yeah. Well, Tenset, you know what? All jokes aside, Tenset showed hunger and and excitement in our vision. And you know what? That's the most amazing thing that you can really get. When someone goes, because let's face it, we're ambitious. This project is ambitious. This project is of grand nature. It's not your simple tech project where you can get a bunch of developers, put together some smart contracts, and we're started from there. We are a full physical IRL project, a decentralized crypto city that one day is going to be a home for crypto community. And we're also thinking about the future and doing it in 100% sustainable manner, utilizing this great modular technology. And obviously James himself is is very passionate about the things that he does, and it's very similar to Tenset. The passion and the commitment that you guys showed in our vision, and understood that it's Satoshi Island vision, but really everyone wants this, So it was a very easy partnership to create.
Exactly, and this is also one of the main reasons why we actually got in touch with you guys, and this thing happen, right? Is we really see this thing as being the crypto capital of the world, and the thing is that you have everything is planned out, you have everything sorted with contracts, everything, the government approval. So definitely amazing. It's going to be very exciting to see how it's going to progress as we move forward. So we're going to move on to the next questions here. It's going to be about the island infrastructure, and Dan, you can take the first ones here.
Sure. Yeah. So what is the time horizon looking like for the infrastructure development?
Well, right now we already have sort of a lesser scale of infrastructure already available on the island. There's about 5 villas that are completely livable in. You can actually move in and have a nice life there. Solar power, fresh water, proper sewage systems, of course, all the electricity and connections. But, as far as the future is concerned, this is exactly why we chose, the kind of architecture that we went for, to make sure that, if you look at a normal development of this size, you're probably looking at about 10 years, I think going into modular architecture, and I think James will be able to obviously expand on that. That gives us a window of, as far as we're concerned, of course, we can't lock this in. We have to see what happens. But we strongly feel that we can have this completed in about 3 years' time. James, what do you think?
Well, I think that you're absolutely right, Dennis, because from day one, we knew that when people got interested in Satoshi Island and started to acquire the rights to live there and to really build there, we needed an architecture and an infrastructure that could be deployed very quickly in a very sustainable way. And so we chose a high-tech modular architecture that allows people to really get a very cool high-tech house off the shelf, literally, and it will be deployed on the land. Now, the way in which we're going to do it is quite interesting. The houses themselves are going to be relatively self-sufficient. They have a level of their own energy generation, solar panels, water recycling, and things like this. But then we're also going to be using the land in a sustainable, well-planned way. So that's just like with all the experiences with the initial 5 villas that has been built on the island already. We're just going to take that up onto the next level, evolve that into a modern kind of system, and grow it organically as Satoshi Islanders come and, really establish their lives on the island. And it's a very exciting way to build a new community. It's not like what we're doing already in the West or in an existing city. So the architecture, the technology, the innovation was there from day one as part of the Satoshi Island strategy in order to build a beautiful life on this island in a decentralized and a very kind of innovative way.
Awesome, yeah. That kind of builds on to our next question, more about the modules. So could you talk a bit about the specifics of the modules?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is my passion. We are designing and building and prototyping probably the world's most advanced and innovatively designed modular housing, especially for Satoshi Island. In fact, in my own career for the last 10 plus years, I've focused on very innovative modular approaches to architecture, which allows for these buildings to be really, really flexible, built off-site, and then delivered to the location, and then basically plug and play. So the Satoshi Island modules specifically are very, very innovative because they're built around a steel chassis, but cloaked with an aluminum shell. So we actually call them a little bit like livable Apple products, right? They look like Apple MacBooks or Apple iPads, right? They have that kind of feeling. And all the glass and all the aluminum is all precision laser cuts. There's all robot fabricated, and then all checked and all waterproofed and all pre-wired before they are shipped out to the island. And then the modules themselves, they are relatively intelligent because we would have already got solar panel systems installed on the upper modules, and then they will be tagged specifically to your house. So depending on the configuration of house that you want, you have a lower module and an upper module. There'll be connecting staircases all built in. Basically, it would be like a giant Lego blocks that come together, plugged, electricity, water, sewage connected, system on, and your house is ready. After that, all you need to do is to maybe bring some of your own cool furniture and stuff to make it your home, and you're ready to live. And that house is really, really like a tech product. Actually, it's in the vein of a tech product. It's not like a house that you built with bricks and mortar. It's like a tech product that you actually can live in.
Cool. Okay, amazing.
Yeah,
and
so cool.
As someone who actually wants to live on the island myself, I have a few questions regarding the modules. The first one being, how many square meters is one module?
Okay, so so our typical, well, we have several different module sizes, but our typical module size is about 40 square meters as a single block, right? And that is a size we've chosen because as modular architecture, we have to have a certain size equivalent to, you can say, like a container box that you often see at cargo depots and things like this. And the size is adequate for, having a cool living area, a cool dining area, a cool open kitchen, etc. And it's adequate for a house that on the ground floor would have that basic kind of starting point. Then you can match modules up. So you can double them up to about 80 square meters to about 120 square meters. And they basically can be tagged on and get wider and wider from the single unit, right? And then upstairs is the same. Upstairs is starting with the 40 square meter unit, and then you can double them up or triple them up, etc. And we have versions which are bedrooms. We can have versions which are open plan that you can use for anything. That comes with bathrooms. We have ones which are open terraces that you can make your bedroom walk out onto a terrace with a sea view. So all of them would match around this 40 square meter module as the building block for the house.
Okay, amazing, because that was actually my question is, for example, if you're a supermarket owner and you want to bring and have a supermarket on Satoshi Island, so you would actually be able to take these modules and put them side by side and go to 120 square meters.
I mean, it's actually almost limitless because when you talk about supermarkets, right? Supermarkets could be like, up to, 200 square meters or more in size. So basically, we can have 5, 6, 7 of them all lined up. It looks super sleek, like a kind of like aluminium modern architectural piece. And inside is open plan, so you can have your supermarket, you can have your restaurant, you can have a studio, you can have a cafe with toilet facilities, with kitchen facilities, built into all the different modules. And you just basically choose the right configuration of modules. We'll work with you on that, and then we just piece it together. We'll manufacture them individually and then piece them together as a single building on site. So yeah, it's really like a Lego kind of architecture where you can build around that single module into anything that you want to achieve.
Okay, that's really amazing to hear. Really, really amazing to hear. Actually, another thing I assume requirements regarding how robust these houses would have to be, the modules. How safe are they for like storms? There is like the occasional cyclone and so on and so forth.
Sure. So the first modules that were ever made and deployed were in Hong Kong, my home city. And Hong Kong also is a tropical climate. We have typhoons. We have typhoon category 10, which is the highest on record. And the modules that we've built so far have all been built around those specifications. And they've proven their worth here in Hong Kong, and none of them has been blown away. However, we always have to be sensitive to the real locations of any place that we build. So based on the established experiences we already have in constructing on Satoshi Island, plus the latest guidelines by the Vanuatu government, we will be fine-tuning our methodology and installing our modules so that it is safe on Satoshi Island. So, of course, we have to deal with the wind. Satoshi Island is pretty windy, but it's not too much a problem because we're not building a high-rise building. So our modular system is comfortable up to about 3 floors. We don't recommend it to go any higher than that. We like most people to live in a 2-floor villa or make a 2-floor office building, maybe an apartment building up to 3 floors. So in terms of wind, we've got that covered in the modules themselves. And then it's just a matter of the foundations being built well on site in order to tie the modules into the foundation so that they have lateral stability. But all in all, because our buildings are very lightweight, they are very well detailed, we have lots of considerations about the foundations. There will be a grounded architecture that should be pretty resilient, even in sometimes a little bit of a kind of stormy situation. But we will certainly take care of that because we want Satoshi Island to be a place that is of quality and safe and a happy place for people to live in the long term. So this is our commitment in the architecture that we have to build.
Amazing. That's very good to hear, because I assume there's other people out there that want to live there and they want to make sure that this is really robust. It's not that I live in Vanuatu myself, so the wind is nothing crazy here, but if you look on the news, you can see every 10 years there's going to be something, and it's going to be it's good to hear that this is really robust. And so Dan, you have some questions here regarding the modules.
So I guess talking about no, I think we covered the modules mostly now. So on the island, what would the transport be like? Would it just be walking, or would it be bikes and stuff?
We're definitely gonna, well, first of all, let's not forget that we're completely trying to be as sustainable as possible. And of course, everything is gonna be, no fossil fuels and solar powers and solar energy. So in the beginning, we are definitely gonna have transportation, which is probably gonna be as simple as golf carts. And of course, your electric scooters and electric bikes to share for the entire community as well. But of course, don't forget that this is a blueprint and we are working on this together as a community all together. So I'm sure someone will come out and Tesla and maybe create something specific for us. You know, there are some very nice Bermuda Tweezies that I know about. Renault, I think they are made by really cool electric vehicles, very well planned, nice aerodynamic, and have windows everywhere. So obviously, you don't want to miss out on the beauty of the island as you're traveling through it. But transportation won't be an issue. You know, everything will be sorted, and you know, obviously, we can add as we need based on the you know residents on the growth of the population of the island.
Yeah, sounds awesome. So when can the first people come to visit the island?
The island is actually ready to go now. The country is just reopened 1st of July, so there's no longer any COVID restrictions. We do have some very exclusive accommodation available on the island, and that's going to be obviously for select few people. We are strategically looking at opening it up as a resort towards the end of the year, where you can actually again come in and exclusively experience what the island is all about as the development begins and the land clearing initiates. But as far as the first modules arriving is concerned, of course, it's going to depend on who's ordering the modules, how many they're ordering, because it's important for us to get a bulk of modules ordered and you know, coming into the island immediately. So we will probably start with your south coast and your west coast areas, which are on the bottom side of the island, and then slowly move our way up to the upper cliffs and start developing there. This is all going to depend on the community, of course. But we expect that south coast should be ready Q2 next year. And like I said before, the entire completion we expect to be done within 3 years, if everything goes well.
Amazing.
So how do people get to Vanuatu and the island?
Vanuatu is very easy to get to depending on where you are. So pre-COVID, there was actually direct flights from the west coast of Canada, USA, and even China, I believe. But the easiest way for you, right now, obviously, whilst airlines still haven't resumed the full capacity of their flights, the easiest way would be to get to Australia first. And I'm here now. I'm in Sydney. I'm about 4 hours from Vanuatu. And in fact, if I need to go to the island, I would be on the island in about 5 hours in total from where I am.
Okay, awesome.
Well, actually, Dennis hasn't told you. He's actually inventing a Satoshi Island teleportation device, which will take you there instantaneously.
James, I thought those were going to be built into the modules.
Yeah, no, that's an optional extra. That's an optional extra.
Yeah, so I mean, Vanuatu is a super touristy friendly place. So getting there has never been an issue. The reason that they're sort of less known as your Fiji and your Bali and your Thailand is because they're not sort of as cheap. They're a little bit more, I don't want to choose the wrong words, upper class, and they're attracting, people with a little bit more sort of, exposable income. But I think again, that's another reason why I think the government is very excited. I think we're going to change that. We're going to put Vanuatu on the map. It's absolutely beautiful. The blue holes, the white sand beaches, the nature, the people, the friendliness of the people. It's just once you experience Vanuatu, it really is an amazing place to come live, or even just to come visit every now and then as well.
Yes, indeed. Actually, I have a little question I want to ask you in regards to getting to the island. So obviously some people, they don't want to just come and visit. They just, as myself, they want to come and live. They want to make this their home, right? So what options do these people have? Temporary residence, permanent residence, perhaps even citizenship? You can possibly touch on any partnership that you have that can help with this.
Vanuatu is very flexible as far as visas are concerned. They have over 120 countries which allow you to come in visa free and stay up to 2 or 3 months. Now that stay itself can also be extended for a very reasonable cost and very simple way. However, if you do want to make Vanuatu your home, your forever home, and this is where you want to be, we have partnered up with Daniel Aegis, whose company has been responsible for helping people acquire citizenships of the countries for over 12 years. And because you're one of ours, because you're a Satoshi Islander, we will most definitely introduce you to that partnership, to that relationship, and be able to expedite any of those processes for you if you are interested.
Amazing. That's good to hear. So we are moving on to what people. This is the juicy part everyone wants to hear. So
Be careful.
The token and the NFTs. Yeah. So let's start with the Satoshi Island currency. We be going to
I would love to start.
I
would love to start with the Citizenship NFT first, if I may. Only because it's sort of like the beginning, and it's actually the most important NFT that you can actually think about. That is your access point, and the name suggests exactly that: Citizenship NFT. It is just a namesake. The most important thing to understand, and it's the best namesake that we could possibly come up with, because it's crucial for anything Satoshi Island. If you want to develop and build on Satoshi Island, you need Citizenship NFT. If you want to visit Satoshi Island, you need Citizenship NFT. Further down the track, if you are a Citizenship NFT holders, and we made this very public and very known, that the entire project, the entire island is going to be handed over to the Citizenship NFT holders DAO, where the community will continue to decide how the project takes shape, how the community takes shape. So it's very, very crucial and very, very important. We have 21,000 of those available, only ever. There will never be any more. There has been a bit of concern about, well, wait a minute, I'm buying land. What if I can't get my hands on it? That won't be an issue. We're very confident that a lot of these Citizenship NFTs are going to be available on the secondary market as soon as we release them, because in the beginning, we did give them all away for free. And furthermore, if it does happen, which is very, very unlikely, then of course, we're still able to create visitor NFTs, other short stay visas, and things of that nature. Moving on, of course, all the land on the island, we are in blockchain, we are in crypto space. Every single block of land on the island is going to be represented by an NFT. And to be honest with you, we started this project and we started talking about NFTs before this NFT craze even happened, as far as art and memberships is concerned. So for us, it was a very clear use of this blockchain technology, having a physical asset represented by NFTs. And of course, all the legal information, all the licenses and agreements are, within that NFT for you to view. And in our opinion, it's really going to shake up the real estate industry, where you're going to cut out so much of this bureaucracy and so many middle parties, and be able to trade real estate directly on a marketplace between the communities with anybody, anywhere in the world. So and this is when we talk about Bitcoin and we talk about cryptocurrency, this is the beauty about this: access to anybody with internet connection. And this is what we're creating for real estate. Of course, everything else on the island that can possibly be represented will be represented by NFTs, and those will be licenses, ownership of physical assets, etc., etc. And of course, the most crucial, the most important thing is our digital currency, because we are creating a blueprint for how society could function in the future. And creating this Satoshi Island currency is of utmost importance to keep an eye on, because, first of all, it's got a market cap of 21 million tokens. And I think everyone is aware of what that number exactly means and represents. So, so we're taking an example of the best, the Bitcoin, and we are hoping that, we can use some of those, histories and, and its beauty of being independent asset and utilize that within our currency. Of course, the entire, as far as utilities are concerned, the entire island economy is going to be run on Satoshi Island currency. That will be, inclusive of buying any groceries, paying rent, selling your future land accommodations, paying for entertainment, buying beers, coffees, etc. But I think more importantly is the example, the blueprint that this currency will, showcase to the entirety of the world of how the currency should be used by the community themselves. Of course, it's a set asset. It can't be just printed. It can't be just created out of thin air. So I think that's an important aspect to look at and to think about. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on us from many governments, from many jurisdictions of how this token, this currency, this digital currency, digital economy is going to be built by the community. Now, you did mention a stable coin. At this stage, it hasn't been developed. It is something that the community will be overlooking. But of course, it's important to have some sort of stability on the island because it's going to be day-to-day uses. So there's definitely an opportunity there as well to do it right. The most exciting part is that the community, the global community is involved. And I'm not talking about just Satoshi Island community. I'm talking about global communities involved in creating this few steps into the future.
Yeah, and regarding the Satoshi Island currency, so as for someone that potentially could be interested in renting out these modules, right, or maybe potentially even making a little resort, or there's endless possibilities here. If I want to rent this out, how? This is the whole point of creating a stable coin, right? Because if it's going to be in the Satoshi Island currency, if I want to have $2,000 per month for rent, obviously the Satoshi Island currency is going to be fluctuating. That's where you see the stable coin come into place.
Well, exactly right. And you're talking about rentals, but I would take it even lower notch and say, what about if you're running a cafe and someone comes in and pays for a coffee? Of course, that's going to cost you as well. You have to buy product with the money that you make and pay labor with the money that you make. So this is where the stable coin is going to jump in and really solve any of those fluctuating issues. And the Satoshi Island currency itself is going to run more like your everyday currency anywhere in the world, minus the bureaucracy and free printing of money. It's going to be very well controlled by the people.
Yes, exactly. Dan, do you have any other questions?
For the token, I think that's okay. But then moving on to the land NFTs, I think a lot of people, I've been seeing questions in the groups, is about the ownership if you don't hold a full block yourself. So could you talk a little bit about the DAO or the co-op, how that will operate?
Yeah, absolutely. The best and the easiest way of looking into it is it's not a governance as such based on who has more single NFTs within a block. It's more of a share. So all the governance and all the rules will be created prior. So this is where your cooperative comes in. So if I have a single land NFT and James has 9 NFTs, it actually doesn't matter. We're still going to get together and we say, okay, James, let's come together. Let's create a cooperative. What do we want to do? How do we envision the future of this block of land? Do we want to build in the future? Do we want to maybe just sit on the land for a little bit and wait for the value to go up? What do we want to do? And that's how it's going to be created. And of course, where Satoshi Island and all our systems are going to be created around that, we'll have all the right chats. We're even talking about our metaverse where you'll be able to meet with people and be able to converse with them and see exactly what their vision for Satoshi Island is. But of course, if that's not something that you're interested in, then you just buy the whole block to yourself, 10 NFTs, and then you have to worry about any of those things at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so I think you touched on it, but there'll be some system
there'll be a system. There'll be an in-house system where everyone who has a fraction will be able to meet together and discuss in a very sort of social way what their views maybe even create some sort of subgroups to say like, okay, we're builders. We've got a subgroup of builders here. So if you have a 1, 2, 3 or whatever, anything under 10 of land NFTs, come to this particular group and let's discuss. Let's create a cooperative because we want to build. So everyone will jump on there and they'll be able to create their own groups of 10s and move on with those kind of rules and regulations. And of course, there will be others who are saying, you know what, I'm just going to wait and see what happens to the land. Let me sit on this land for a couple of years. And again, those who have the same visions, the same views, will go and be able to go into those subgroups and create blocks of land with those people as well. So it's going to be very streamlined. It's going to be very easy. We're going to be utilizing Web3. We're going to be utilizing Metaverse. And I think if it's difficult to sort of wrap your mind around it now, as soon as it starts taking shapes, I think everyone will go, it will actually be a pretty straightforward system.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds good.
Amazing.
And then for the different sectors on the island, so people have to buy an NFT in a certain zone, and then they can claim a block just within that zone. That's correct.
The beauty about this project is it still has that element of that, your NFT feel as far as the traits and rarity is concerned. So because it was very difficult for us to price our, price different areas of the island ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's very much subjective. One person thinks that this is the best area, but another person might think that, no, that's the best area. So what we did is, apart from some of the prime blocks of land that we put aside, which are going to, which were more exclusive than others, and that's just to take them out of circulation to make sure that the rest of the NFTs are more fair. Each area just has your straight up land NFT deeds, right? And you don't know exactly where you're going to be located until you get the trait reveal of that particular NFT deed. Once the trait is revealed, this is where you're going to learn how lucky you are, because we do have some waterfront traits of our blocks of land. And of course, if you get some of those traits, great, lucky you. But in saying that, at the end of the day, you still live on a beautiful island. So if it is an inland trade that you received, it's still an amazing part of the island, and you still can make a beautiful life out of it. And of course, coming back to the systems and co-ops, we're going to have a swap function as well. Say, for example, you're buying with your mates, or you're buying with a community, and some of you received the trait of waterfront, and some of you received the trait of inland. So you'll be able to get into that system that we're going to create and chat to some people and see, hey, does anybody want to do a swap? It could be a straight swap, it could be a swap plus ETH, or whatever it is you decide. It will be completely up to the community. But what it will allow everyone to come together with friends and community members, etc., to be able to get a block of land for themselves in the same place. We have 7 different areas. Each area has its own beauty. Each area has its own attraction, and it's like I said, it's very difficult to sort of tell which areas are better than others, because at the end of the day, it is a decentralized crypto capital of the world, and it doesn't matter where you live on it, it's going to be amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly, and actually, just regarding these areas, so just so confused. If you buy multiple blocks in one area, these blocks won't just be spread around; they will be together, right?
Exactly right. So if you're buying multiple, you're guaranteed. So if you're buying 10 NFTs, you're guaranteed to have the same trait of the entire block. If you're buying multiple in one transaction, if it's 20 or 30, then you're guaranteed to have the blocks or the traits, revealed for the blocks next to each other. So that's definitely not an issue. It's only when you're buying single ones that you're going to have a random trait, and then you're going to have to find yourself a cooperative member or cooperative team of people to pick the correct block on the island.
Cool.
Awesome. I think we're getting towards the end of our questions. Do you have anything else to ask, Thor?
Yes. So the thing here, there's something called the property tax here in Vanuatu, but there's a benefit from actually having land as an NFT on Satoshi Island. Maybe go more into details about that.
Well, I guess this is just another way of we're going to disrupt this industry. At the moment there's so many middle parties, and there's so much bureaucracy, and you have to have a conveyor, and you have to have a lawyer, and you have to have a contract lawyer, and you're paying all this money and all this extra money, giving away from something that you worked really hard for, something that came off no one else's goodwill, came off no one else's hard work but yours. Yet if you want to make a transaction, whether buying or selling, all of a sudden you're paying all this money to all these extra parties that are unnecessary, because at the end of the day the contract is the same, just the name changes. And this is where the blockchain technology going to change the world, not just in real estate, but in any forms of system within the government that are not fair or don't make any sense. Where it's very simple. It's a mutable transaction on the blockchain. Changes hands. This NFT I own. I sell it to Thor. It's an instant 20-second transaction. My money is in the bank. Guess how long it's going to take me to wait for that money to come through the bank? I think it's like 60-day cooldown period. Let's be honest, it's ridiculous. The system is broken, and we're here to fix it. And it's the same thing. It's a form of ownership. It's a form of ownership. If you're, for example, getting a franchise license, you own that business. That business is yours. So this is the same sort of deal. You have a licensing ownership of this block, the exclusive licensing ownership of this block of land that belongs to you, right? But this is a system, and again, we're not doing this on purpose to avoid paying any of the land taxes or whatever. No, we're very much with Vanuatu. We would love to put as much money into the economy as possible, and we feel we're going to do that by bringing jobs and bringing innovation and technology. And I think more information will come out soon. But in fact, we're actually even going to put a percentage of our circulation of currency into Vanuatu as well, to help local people, because we're going to be one. We're all going to be together. Vanuatu is going to thrive, and we're going to thrive as well.
Exactly, amazing. And see, this is the thing where some people might think, okay, I can own land for hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Everything is going to be on my wallet address. What happens if my wallet address is on my ledger? Something happens, I lose the access. I have a home, I have a couple of modules. Is there any way to not get this land lost? You know what I mean?
It's a great question. It's a great question because it's a huge issue in our industry. Scams, phishing, just generally not being careful with your key phrases, with your passphrases. We can't do enough to drill this information into everyone who's coming in, everyone brand new is coming into our industry. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want as many people in our industry as possible, educate them on the beauty of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, right? But unfortunately, a lot of the times people coming in and they're not sure how it is to hold the security of their wallets and things of that nature. So Satoshi Island have thought of that, of course, because this is not just a JPEG picture or a couple of grand of Ethereum that you're going to lose. You essentially could potentially lose your home, your house, your land, everything. So we thought of that, and we introduced a thing that is called advanced NFT security. And what that means is, without a permission of a secondary wallet, which we call a trustee, a transaction cannot happen outside of your wallet. Essentially, sort of like Trezor works, essentially sort of like a 2FA works. If somebody's going to, if say you accidentally, I hope it doesn't happen, I hope people start learning, but say you got phished and you attached your wallet to a wrong link, you're going to lose your monkeys, you're going to lose your ETH, but Satoshi Island NFT will not be able to be extracted because you need this other secret, I assume it's going to be secret wallet, that's going to give it an approval to do so, right? So that's where we look after our community that way. Another thing that sometimes our community does is simply lose the key phrases, and you will not be able to have access to your funds or to your land, to your home ever again. And it happens, and I'm sure the systems will get better and better. But at the moment, again, based on this advanced NFT security, what happens if you lose the key phrases to your wallet or access to your wallet, or say something happens to you? So maybe you haven't lost it, but something happened to your life or something unfortunate, God forbid. We have this thing called beneficiary, which means that you assign a wallet, and if your NFT, your home, your land NFT within that wallet has not been interacted with for a certain period of time, it will actually automatically be transferred into your other nominated wallet. And you might say, hey, what if the other nominated wallet is lost as well? Well, I would say, God damn it, you should not be in crypto. But however, it does happen. It does happen. So what would happen in that case, and don't quote me on this, but I believe we're still working on that. If there's a fail safe where your beneficiary wallet still doesn't get access to that NFT, it will actually be transferred to the company. And if you are the owner, you'll be able to come up. And if you can prove that it's your NFT, then of course we'll be able to more than gratefully to hand it over back to you. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a bit of art or some membership. It's real block of land. It's real home, and it's important that it's secure as such.
Exactly, amazing. And I hope everyone listening here is having a little notebook of. I mean, my little notebook over here. I'm just ticking boxes. I mean, it's absolutely amazing to see what you guys have managed to put together, and yeah, it's absolutely amazing, really.
I mean, thank you very much. We appreciate with the love. We really do. And you know what? And my only answer to that is that, I know we only came out public in December last year, but we've been, and James will concur, we've been working on this together, brainstorming everything that could go wrong, for many, many, many years. And I'm not saying that we've covered all the aspects of the project and issues that we might face. I'm sure there's going to be other things that we face, and we will deal with them as a team and as a community. But you know what? We are where we are because everyone's got the power and the mind and the heart to make this, to achieve this this great vision.
Yeah, amazing, really. True. So then we're moving on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions from us, but we'll just go to the community now. So people who are asking questions on the live stream.
Oh, we are live.
I have a first question.
God, now I'm nervous.
Yes, we are. We are indeed. So the first question is, how will the public infrastructure and waste management and stuff be financed? Not only initially, but on a regular basis?
I think the question is maintenance, yeah? Like how the island is going to be maintained, right? So, exactly. so as I said before, so the entire project, the entire city, the entire community is going to be handed over to our community-owned DAO, and that DAO is going to have a fund. That fund's going to have a large circulation of the tokens that we're going to receive, as well as all the profits from any of the businesses, from cafes, shops, etc., etc. Any of the trading fees that are attached to all our NFTs are going to be going to that fund. And that fund will obviously continue to maintain the island, and will also be controlled by the people, by the community, to see if there's anything else that needs to be improved or built as far as infrastructure is concerned on land as well. But the infrastructure itself, it's not expensive. It's it's obviously renewable. Waste services. James, I just wonder if you want to tell them a little bit more about the the local sort of waste techniques that we're using. I think everyone will really love to hear about that.
Yeah. So we're not building a traditional city where you have massive sewage treatment works and sewage pipes everywhere. We're going for a much more village district approach, back to the kind of tropical island kind of strategy of sewage treatment, which is using the ground, using the natural assets in the area. So, for example, where possible, a village or a community will have their sewage basically recycled deep underground in sump pits. So instead of necessarily pumping it and using a lot of energy in a traditional city to a very expensive sewage treatment plant, we're going to use normal, sustainable, biodegradable processes in the ground. And this has been a proven traditional way of doing it for many, many years on the islands themselves. So, but in a planned way. So we will probably congregate a number of houses to share one steep sump, subject to the geotechnical condition of that particular site, but generally using a low energy, sustainable, natural approach to recycling, the resources of the island.
Awesome, yeah. Then I have another question for James. How long are the modules durable? So how many years could you expect to get out of a module?
Well, as long as you don't have too many massive house parties and raves in the house, they should last theoretically between 70 to 80 years. That's the design life of them, right? But Dan and Thor, you are known for your parties, right? So I'm not going to last that long. But
are you saying my house is going to last no more than 10 years? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, Dennis, you probably need to change your house every year at your rate. But they're built to a quality that should last 70 to 80 years. Subject to some maintenance, of course, every house needs some maintenance, but if you take care of it, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, what is the maintenance?
Well, typical house maintenance is, you have to clean it. Sometimes you have to, flush the pipes. You have to, maybe renew some of the gaskets that connects pipes. You need to clean the windows. You need to maybe, after a number of years, you need to inject silicone again in the, in the waterproofing of the windows and the joints and things like this. So it's just normal wear and tear kind of thing. We cannot build a house that lasts 70 to 80 years that has zero maintenance. That's not possible. Even a car, right? Even a car needs to do maintenance, once a year, once a couple of years. A house has to do the same. But it's not a bad thing as well, because I think it just freshens up your house. It reassesses about how you want to use your house. You might want to redo the interiors anyway after 10 years or whatever. So it's typical part of the cycle of maintaining a house.
Okay, amazing. And just now that we are talking about the modules, some of them, they come furnished and some others, or how does it work?
Yeah, Dennis, you want to take this?
Yeah. So we're gonna put it together as a package. So there's going to be a standard package of furnished modules, and obviously any of the extensions that James talked about before are going to come, of course, unfurnished. They're going to more come as a shell, as an extension. But yeah, there's going to be a stock standard furniture and of course upgradable options as well.
So I think more specifically from a design point of view, the modules are nice enough for you to just move in. So you imagine it's like a brand new hotel room. You go in, but it may not have the bed yet. It may not have the dining table, have the chairs, but it's a beautiful empty new flat with built-in kitchens and built-in toilets and things like this. Now, whatever furniture that we can offer later as a package, we might have a Satoshi Island package, right? Which is like how we foresee everybody should be living in Satoshi Island. Then those would be optional extras. But I think most people would like to bring their own stuff and curate their own homes and make it their own. And so there is the option of both. But basically, the space is a space that you no longer need to paint. You don't need to plaster. You don't need to do much to it. You just bring your own furniture and your own belongings, and that will be your living space.
Okay, amazing. Cool.
Awesome. We have one person asking, do you expect buildings like that of Dubai? So I understand there won't be high rises. There's a cap on how many you can stack.
Yeah, there's a cap on how high we want to stack. There's a couple of reasons for that at this stage. Is we really, the vision behind the design of Satoshi Island is a low density, very sustainable, very natural place. So, and also in terms of citizenships and land ownership, there's no need at this stage to really do very kind of high density buildings that are very high, etc. Now, maybe one day the DAO would decide to have a city center that has a couple of skyscrapers. I don't know whether that would happen, but at the moment with modular technology as well, there is probably, it's leaning towards easier to build low-rise, low-density buildings than any high-rise. So at the moment in phase one of the project, there's no chance that you'll have a Burj Khalifa from Dubai appearing appearing on the center of Satoshi Island. And not, at least not in the real world, but maybe in augmented reality or the metaverse or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I know you mentioned metaverse. So there's going to be a metaverse version of the island. Is there any timeline for when that will be?
We have a basic version ready. The beta is already on, the metaverse is ready. Beta is basically has current villas and all the land scaped and all the blocks of land divided, so you can run around and have a look at all of them. But the idea, the bigger idea, is to have a mirrored version of the real island, and as it gets upgraded in real life, it also gets upgraded in the metaverse as well. And yeah, it's definitely something that we've been working on for a while, and I think you can see some snippets of it on our social media. And I think it's going to be a really nice touch. At the end of the day, I think Web3 and metaverse, it's a huge side of our community, and we're definitely going to take advantage of it as well. And it also the fact that, we have to be realistic that not everyone's going to be able to make it to Satoshi Island. So hopefully the metaverse will allow them to be part of the community in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. We have one person asking, how do you plan for fresh water facilities on the island?
Well, so fresh water, of course, comes from rain, and the island is not short on fresh water. We'll need to manage that fresh water. There's a couple of ways we'll do that. Is as the community grows, we will have to design small reservoirs to collect rainwater and to filter it to the supply of each district. But then the houses themselves will have a degree of water recycling. We call it a wetland cell kind of approach, where basically, the fresh water you've used becomes potable water that you could use for flushing the toilets, for irrigating your plants. And so a couple of different kind of water systems that would use the natural resource and assets of the water supply on the island and divert it into a village approach to each of the different districts and to your individual house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
Let's see.
There's a guy asking here a question. Will the modules be paid with Satoshi Island currency?
No, the modules in the beginning will be paid with fiat, but everything else that you can think of on the island will have to be paid with Satoshi Island currency.
Okay, great. Possibly in the future.
Possibly in the future. One day our aluminium company is going to go, you know what, guys, we're all into crypto. Start paying us your token. We can only dream. We can only dream.
Okay, cool.
I have a question. How long does it take to order one module to the island? So I guess where are the modules coming from?
So we're working on that at the moment, and there's a couple of factors. The things that we do know is that I already have a manufacturing facility, a large factory in South China, a couple of factories actually, and we have currently a maximum production capacity of about 100 units per month at the current rate. And should the uptake be significantly more than that, and there's a guaranteed stream of demand, that could be scaled up. And then in terms of, from the order to delivery, et cetera, we're working on that at the moment because those modules will be built to your requirements in China, in our factory. There will be cargo to the port in South China. They will board a container ship, and then they have to come down to Vanuatu, and then they have to be landed, and then they have to be placed in your position. And all of that is also quite a complex set of, logistic issues. We can't have one cargo ship carrying your one house. We need to make sure that the cargo ship is up to capacity. So that's a number of things that would affect it. We don't know exactly how long it would take. Of course, we want to make it a reasonable amount of time, but I think what's more important is we are able to eventually tell everybody exactly the promised date. So we want it to be something which is not necessarily overly promising that you're going to get it next week. But then if we tell you that your house will be on site in, let's say, 6 months, and that we have a lot of certainty behind that, then that's probably the way in which we'll organize the eventual logistics of your house. So that's all I can tell you at the moment, because there's so many variables still there. Yes.
Yeah. So to add to that, so people are purchasing a module, and that includes then that will be shipped to their place and set up on their plot. Correct. They don't need to arrange it. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
They don't need to lug it up the hill by themselves.
Just bring your suitcase. Bring your suitcase, and don't forget your snorkeling and bikini.
Awesome.
Oh.
I think we're getting near to the end now. Let me see if there's any more questions.
This just showcases, as complex as this project is, it's actually also very simple. Of course, there's a lot of logical and technical systems involved, but in essence, we're just building a city for the community. It's as simple as that. We've thought about everything. I hope that we've thought about everything. I'm sure there's little things here and there that we haven't, and we will tackle those as soon as they arise. But right now, as we stand, we're very much on track to delivering.
Awesome.
Amazing. So I cannot see any further questions from. Do you have any, Dan?
I think if I could just quickly add, sorry if somebody did ask a question, but I think we didn't really discuss like security and medical side of things on the island.
Okay.
To quickly discuss about that is, of course, it's almost like a closed gated community. So we will have 24/7 security on the island, not just looking after the community, but also, supporting and helping the community in any of the things that they might need. Of course, there will be a generic medical centers on the island to help with basic medical needs, but we will be heavily investing in mainland hospital infrastructure and bringing it up to the standard of our community. Healthcare is going to be up to the standard of our community in those hospitals. And of course, we're going to have quick response medical units to obviously sort out any more serious medical issues. And apart from the 24/7 security, private security, we'll also have the support and help of Vanuatu police patrolling and helping out the community members as well. Generally, though, Vanuatu has no crime. Worst thing that could happen is somebody comes in and poaches your coconut crab. So we will deal with that as it occurs.
Very serious offense there,
Well, but it actually is. You got to look after this.
And Dennis is very humble. He hasn't told you about to take his medical degree, and he will be the on-island doctor for everyone.
And a security license also. Also, I'm getting my security license. So I'll at nighttime I'll protect, and at daytime I heal.
You heal. You're the healer of the island.
I feel safe now.
Oh, come on. You can't be any safer without Dennis, right? Dennis is the man.
Oh. So just I found there's one more here about he says no, I lost it. 2 seconds. I will have it in. Okay, I think I can remember his question. It is, what's the security? He says, what is the security? How can I trust that when I purchase this NFT, it actually means that I purchased the land?
Yeah, sure. So you can view the license agreements, which are legally binding documents. They are legally binding, which means that if Satoshi Island Holdings Limited Company doesn't do what the license states that it does, then you have every right and legally will be comfortable to take us to court and actually win and actually get your block of land if we don't give it to you. So, so we designed our license agreements to obviously completely showcase that this kind of ownership, it's a true ownership. It's just a different kind of ownership.
Okay, amazing. And down here, I have something else. Just before we wrap up, I don't know if you have anything more to say here, but I'd like to. What is it?
I can't believe nobody asked about Satoshi Island 2.0 yet. I think James wants to do one, don't you, James?
I just want to do this first one first, man. Seriously, look, let's get this one done, and let's have a really, really happy, great community on the island. And then, I think the dream of Satoshi Island is not just around the people who have started it. The more we've shared this dream, and the more when real citizens come and are part of this community, I think great ideas will come from this island, whether it's new businesses or new ideas and new innovations. I think a lot of great ideas, and all of those things would be in a way Satoshi Island 2.0, right? So let's get the first one done first, please.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds good. I agree with that.
And that's the other thing with sort of communities, that you have to be kind of an open-minded individual in order to already grasp what is cryptocurrency, NFTs, and so on and so forth. So actually, the concentration of people that's going to be on the island is going to be open-minded idea people. So I would actually say people say that Dubai is the place for networking, but Satoshi Island is pretty much going to be Dubai on steroids, which is absolutely amazing. Also for companies to come and host events and so on and so forth. There's so many possibilities with this place, and for everyone who has listened with us or who has not heard everything so far, just to quickly summarize some of it, it's already approved by the government, this project. They have the license agreement for the land in place. So if you actually buy these NFTs, you actually get the physical land. It's not just some JPEG as we discussed. If you lose or something happens, there is a secure way in which you can still get your funds back. About the modules, these modules, they come in, they're 40 quadrat meters each. You can put these together. So for people but that's going to be mini supermarkets, you can take these and you can stack them together and you can have like a big gym, a big supermarket. You can make whatever you want. So it's really, really well thought out, everything. Yes, the same with the Satoshi Island currency. Everything is going to be driven by these blockchain technologies. It's going to be super efficient and fast. It's not going to be like, I'm going to send your money and then next Wednesday is still not arrived. No, it's going to be super quick and efficient, everything. So from the networking to living, and I mean, I am here from Vanuatu right now speaking, and it's absolutely stunning. People here is so happy, and it's very, you just feel nice. It's like such a peaceful, nice place. And I wish for everyone that's listening here, you get the chance to come and visit and experience this. And I am sure that many of you will actually get the same feeling as me, that you actually wants to move here because this is very free and you feel very peaceful. The birds, there's cold. I mean, it's just really, really amazing. So yeah, that was like my little last thoughts here for the community.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I think that's the vision, and I think a lot of people do share this vision. And it's, you know, natural to ask questions, and we welcome all the questions. But you know, let's. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but we are in all this together, and the whole idea is to create this together as well.
Exactly. So I don't know if we have anything last you want to say before we
Yeah, just a closing comment from me. A lot of questions about the price of the token, the price of the NFTs and the sales. All that information will be coming out soon. So follow the Satoshi announcement channel, the Tenset channel, and our Twitter accounts, and we'll explain all of it before. So the pre-sale will be starting on the 8th of August. So still about a week and a half to go. And yeah, any closing remarks from James or Dennis that you want to say?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's absolutely amazing to know that there are people around the world through our friendship with Tenset, and all fascinated and possibly, you know, taking the first step towards being part of Satoshi Island. Thank you very much for all of your support and enthusiasm. And we really look forward to, you know, making this project brilliant for everybody involved. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same thing to say. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. And I am, you know, I've always been positive. I always knew we're going to pull this off. But now that we're getting this wave of community and people and individuals driving behind us. Now I'm more than ever confident that soon I'm going to have neighbors, and I won't be able to live on there just all by myself.
I'll come soon and accompany you.
Nice.
So
okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys. It was great to talk to you, and I hope everyone enjoyed the AMA.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been an honor speaking with you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.